Hey, Cowboys Nation, this is Cowboys Wire News, your home for breaking news, smart analysis, rumors, and film room insights. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a snap. Let's talk America's team. The NFL world is buzzing with whispers that could completely redefine the defensive landscape, and all eyes are turning toward Dallas, where the Cowboys are reportedly making a monumental move that could shift the balance of power in the league. Sources close to the organization suggest that the Cowboys are closing in on a deal to bring Myles Garrett to the heart of their defensive front, and the implications are staggering. Imagine pairing Garrett's relentless edge-rushing prowess with the already dynamic core of Dallas defenders, creating a unit that could terrorize quarterbacks across the entire conference. Analysts are already speculating about how Garrett's presence could elevate the Cowboys from a strong defensive team to an absolute juggernaut, with schemes that opponents might struggle to even decipher. Fans are practically vibrating with excitement, debating how the defensive coordinator will unleash Garrett in both standard pass rush situations and creative blitz packages designed to maximize his rare combination of speed, power, and technical skill. Even casual observers are starting to take notice, with social media threads exploding over the potential scenarios where Garrett dominates lineups and becomes the cornerstone of a defense that could reshape playoff dynamics. It's one of those moves that seems almost too powerful to imagine, yet here it is, possibly materializing before the season even heats up. The speculation doesn't stop at the tactical level. It extends into the psychology of the locker room and team culture. Garrett's reputation as a fierce competitor and a player who demands excellence could inject a new level of intensity into the Cowboys' locker room, especially for younger defenders who are hungry to prove themselves. Reports suggest that Garrett thrives in environments where accountability is high and standards are non-negotiable, which aligns perfectly with the current ethos Dallas seems to be cultivating under its leadership. Rumors are swirling that the front office sees him not only as a pass rusher, but as a transformative figure capable of mentoring emerging talents, fostering a culture of relentless pursuit and discipline. Some insiders hint at the potential ripple effects, suggesting that his presence could even alter how opposing offenses approach the Cowboys, forcing coordinators to rethink protections, adjust schemes, and potentially compromise their offensive identity just to neutralize one dominant defensive threat. If this speculation holds any truth, the ripple effect would not be confined to Dallas alone. The entire league would feel the pressure, with teams scrambling to counter a move that might tilt competitive balance in unprecedented ways. The anticipation alone has sparked a whirlwind of debates among pundits, fans, and insiders, as everyone tries to map out the domino effects of what could be a historically significant signing. Adding Garrett to the Cowboys roster isn't just about enhancing individual statistics or boosting highlight reels. It's about reshaping an entire strategic framework. Sources hint that defensive coordinators are already sketching potential packages that capitalize on Garrett's versatility, imagining schemes where he could dominate both as a primary edge rusher and as a disruptor in coverage or containment scenarios. The rumor mill even suggests experiments with hybrid formations, leveraging Garrett's athleticism to confuse offensive lines, creating mismatches that could be exploited on every snap. Analysts are excitedly debating the possibilities, drawing comparisons to some of the most disruptive defenses in recent history, and wondering whether Garrett could become a singularly transformative figure who changes how offenses prepare game plans in Dallas. The potential for sack totals, forced turnovers, and game-changing plays is staggering, and the mere thought of such a presence on the field has fans envisioning highlight reels filled with chaos, disrupted throws, and momentum-shifting moments that could define entire seasons. It's the kind of signing that sparks wild projections and endless what-ifs, because the player in question has the rare ability to not only elevate a team's performance, but also to psychologically dominate opponents before the ball is even snapped. In the realm of NFL speculation, this is precisely the type of scenario that gets everyone talking. Of course, bringing in a superstar like Garrett comes with layers of speculation about how the team will balance personnel, salary, and locker room dynamics. Rumors suggest that the front office is negotiating aggressively, aware that such a move requires careful orchestration of contracts, draft picks, and roster management. Fans are already theorizing how the coaching staff might adjust alignments, rotate players, or even shift defensive philosophies to maximize Garrett's impact while keeping the unit cohesive. Some whispers hint at potential ripple effects on free agent signings, as other defenders might be attracted to a team suddenly perceived as a powerhouse, while opponents could scramble to fortify offensive lines to survive the new threat. There's also chatter about how Garrett's leadership style might integrate with Dallas's current stars, sparking conversations about mentorship, accountability, and chemistry. The speculation paints a picture of a franchise on the brink of something transformative, with Garrett's potential rival representing a tipping point that could redefine expectations, not just for the Cowboys, but for the defensive identity of the league as a whole, for fans, analysts, and insiders alike. The question isn't just whether this deal happens, it's how far-reaching its impact could be across the NFL landscape, beyond the technical and logistical dimensions. The cultural and narrative elements are fueling immense buzz. Garrett's career has been characterized by moments of dominance, controversy, and redemption, and his rumored move to Dallas taps directly into those storylines. Speculators are weaving narratives about how his arrival might serve as a redemption arc, a stage where he can cement his legacy as one of the most formidable defenders of his generation. Pundits are debating the psychological matchups, envisioning quarterbacks sweating under relentless pressure, offensive lines struggling to adjust, and opposing coordinators second-guessing every call. Fans are thrilled by the potential spectacle, imagining prime-time showdowns where Garrett's skill set is fully unleashed, creating a defense that is as much about intimidation as about execution. The rumor alone has sparked intense social media speculation, with highlight reels, mock plays, and strategy breakdowns dominating discussions as everyone tries to project how this hypothetical alignment would play out. The combination of talent, personality, and timing has created a perfect storm of excitement, making this one of the most electrifying potential developments in recent NFL memory. And the suspense around it continues to build with every passing report. Finally, the broader implications of this potential signing cannot be overstated. Some insiders are already theorizing that Garrett in Dallas could shift the team from a strong playoff contender to a legitimate Super Bowl threat, creating defensive pressure that cascades across every facet of the game. The ripple effects might influence draft strategies, free agent movements, and even coaching philosophies league-wide, as teams scramble to adapt to what could become an unprecedented defensive juggernaut. Speculation runs wild about the balance between pass rush, run defense, and coverage schemes. As coaches and analysts try to imagine the full breadth of Garrett's influence, every angle is dissected, from rotational strategies to potential leadership dynamics, as the rumor continues to spread and evolve. For the Cowboys, this could be the move that defines a season, reshapes public perception, and alters the trajectory of the franchise for years to come. While nothing is confirmed, the mere possibility has ignited a wildfire of anticipation and discussion, creating one of the most tantalizing narratives in modern football. If this speculation becomes reality, the NFL landscape might never look the same again. The potential arrival of Myles Garrett in Dallas has ignited an entire spectrum of speculation about how rival teams might respond, and the league could be entering a period of unprecedented defensive arms race. Rumors are swirling that offensive coordinators across the NFL are already scrambling to devise strategies that could neutralize a player. With Garrett's rare combination of size, speed, and technical acumen, some insiders suggest that game plans will have to incorporate extra blockers, altered protection schemes, and even personnel shuffles just to survive the relentless pressure that Garrett could impose. Analysts are imagining scenarios where quarterbacks hesitate, snap timing is disrupted, and entire offensive rhythms are thrown off because one elite defender is dictating terms. The speculation even stretches into playoff forecasts, with pundits theorizing that a fully operational Garrett in Dallas could single-handedly turn close games into dominant statements, forcing teams to rethink risk and reward calculations on every drive. Fans, naturally, are reveling in these possibilities, creating endless debates about whether Garrett's arrival might spark a defensive renaissance not seen in decades, and social media feeds are flooded with theories about rotations, blitz packages, and the psychological impact of a team suddenly perceived as almost untouchable in the trenches. Beyond the tactical and statistical implications, Garrett's rumored move to Dallas has sparked intense discussion about leadership, culture, and the intangible elements that define championship-caliber teams. Sources suggest that Garrett brings a level of intensity and accountability that could redefine the Cowboys' locker room environment, pushing younger defenders to elevate their game while reinforcing a culture of discipline. and relentless pursuit, pundits are speculating that his influence could extend beyond the field, impacting training habits, film study, and even communication styles. Creating a cohesive unit where excellence is not optional but expected, the rumor mill has also hinted at the potential for tension or friction, as the arrival of a superstar often disrupts existing hierarchies. But many insiders believe Garrett's leadership could instead foster unity and a shared competitive fire. Fans are captivated by this narrative, imagining dramatic locker room dynamics, mentorship moments, and team meetings that set the tone for a season defined by intensity and high stakes. In speculative terms, Garrett's presence could become the catalyst for a transformation that goes beyond numbers, shaping both performance and perception in ways that are as psychological as they are physical, turning the Cowboys into a team that commands respect before a single snap is thrown. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. In addition to culture and strategy, speculation abounds about the financial and contractual maneuvers that would enable Dallas to bring in a player of Garrett's caliber. Rumors suggest that negotiations are complex, balancing salary cap constraints, potential roster adjustments, and the long-term vision of the organization. Analysts are predicting creative structuring of contracts, possible incentives tied to sacks, forced turnovers, or even leadership benchmarks, as the front office seeks to maximize value while maintaining flexibility for future acquisitions. There is also chatter about how this move could influence the market for other top-tier defenders, with some free agents potentially drawn to Dallas's newly amplified defensive profile. Rival teams might respond by pursuing their own marquee signings, or double down on offensive reinforcements to counterbalance a potential supercharged defense. The speculation paints a picture of a league-wide domino effect, where one monumental acquisition could trigger an avalanche of strategic adjustments, budget recalibrations, and personnel moves. Every corner of the NFL ecosystem might feel the pressure of Garrett's potential presence in Dallas, from scouts evaluating draft prospects differently to coaches reconsidering traditional game planning assumptions, all sparked by the rumor of a single transformative player arriving in a single city. The strategic possibilities for Dallas with Garrett on board are as expansive as they are thrilling. Insiders speculate that defensive coordinators might unleash schemes previously considered experimental, using Garrett in versatile ways that exploit both his athleticism and football intelligence. From edge rush scenarios that collapse pockets in seconds to coverage disguises that confuse quarterbacks, the rumor paints a portrait of a unit capable of dictating the flow of games. Analysts are imagining hypothetical matchups where Garrett consistently forces double teams, opens opportunities for teammates, and shifts the balance of power on every down. Fans are particularly enamored with the highlight reel potential, envisioning moments of chaos where Garrett dismantles offensive structures with a combination of skill, timing, and brute force. Some whispers even suggest that his presence could influence offensive line drafts, training regimens, and positional prioritization league-wide, as teams attempt to prepare for the ripple effects of a singularly dominant force in Dallas. The speculation extends beyond pure performance metrics into an almost cinematic narrative of a defense that could change the rules of engagement for the rest of the league, creating suspense, drama, and anticipation for every snap. Rumors also suggest that Garrett's addition could redefine rivalries, particularly within the NFC, where teams facing Dallas might feel a new level of pressure and urgency. Analysts are speculating that matchups previously considered balanced could now be approached with caution, as opponents weigh the risks of facing a defense potentially enhanced to historic levels. Some insiders even hypothesize that Garrett could alter not only in-game strategies, but also season-long planning, as teams might adjust weekly schemes, rotate personnel, or develop contingency plays specifically to counteract his disruptive presence. Fans are eagerly imagining playoff scenarios, visualizing Garrett as the player who dictates momentum, forces pivotal turnovers, and becomes the focus of highlight reels that define postseason narratives. Social media and sports forums are flooded with speculation about how offensive coordinators might adapt, whether through chip blocks, altered snap counts, or creative formations. Highlighting the broad reach of the rumor, the mere anticipation of such matchups creates a buzz that goes beyond statistical analysis, tapping into the drama, strategy, and spectacle that make football such a compelling theater of athletic prowess. and strategic ingenuity. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.